Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include the Red Cross unveil commemorative pin, shark jawbones, the council report. These stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
Communication is the beginning of understanding, and understanding is the basis for problem solving. USC Canada believes communication should know no borders. A farmer's field in Ethiopia offers innovation for old problems in Nepal. A community seed bank in Bangladesh sparks ideas for one in Mali. All over the developing world, Canadians in global partnership, finding solutions that work.
Newfoundland and Labrador Red Cross unveiled their Peace and Humanity pin designed to commemorate the September 11 events. The Canadian Red Cross felt it was important to commemorate September the 11th in a meaningful way, a way that would pay tribute to those who lost their lives and at the same time honor the thousands of volunteers who unselfishly gave of themselves to help. Rhonda Kinney, Regional Director for Newfoundland and Labrador, stated that we wanted our project to serve as a means to remind people of the human compassion that made itself evident in the wake of the terrorist attacks and encourage people to continue to strive towards a peaceful world. The pin was designed to incorporate two themes that are significant meaning to everyone whose lives were touched on September the 11th. The pin is comprised of a white ribbon and a red cross. The ribbon symbolizes peace, an ideal for which we continue to strive. The Red Cross embodies the spirit of humanity, one of the 7 principles of the Red Cross. Together, these two symbols shall serve as a remembrance of September the 11th and remind us all of our responsibility to work for a better world. Anyone wishing to purchase a pin can do so at any Canadian Red Cross office or at the Sobeys locations throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. It seems that shark jawbones are becoming quite popular. In the past number of weeks, fishermen have been catching quite a few sharks. The fish bars have been buying them and cutting them up into shark steaks, which many people seem to enjoy. Oddly enough, the shark jawbone is just as popular. If the fisherman brings in a shark, there is someone standing by to take the jawbone off his hands. Roger Ann brought in this mackerel shark jawbone for us to take a look at. This jawbone is from a young shark. You can tell by looking at the teeth. This shark has only 2 rows of teeth, with another just coming through. A mature shark would have 8 rows of these razor-sharp teeth. Many people who take the shark head will clean it up to look like this one. Some will display it, while others will use it as a picture frame. However they display it, it's a great conversation piece. If you look closely, you can see that the teeth are overlapped to give the shark more grip. They are also on an inward slant. A shark prey doesn't have much of a chance once it sinks its needle-sharp teeth into it. Roger Ann told us that the sharks are vicious if you happen to get one on your line. On many occasions, the sharks are in and around the fishing boats as the fishermen haul their nets and will eat fish right off the hooks, just leaving shreds of the fish left. We thank Roger Ann for bringing in the jawbone for us to look at. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
It takes community to heal a village. In northern Mali, USC Canada works with local partners to find community-based ways to ensure mother-child health, food security, and jobs. Canadian agencies are helping to renew and strengthen communities throughout the developing world. This means greater opportunities for global villagers. Canadians in partnership, finding solutions that work.
Now over to Mayor Ann with the council report.
Good evening. Burgeo Town Council held its regular council meeting on September the 4th, 2002. We got 4 members in attendance, so therefore we managed a quorum and could go ahead with our meeting. The first hour of our meeting was we met with representatives from Seacrest, Mr. Steve Noseworthy, and as you know, this is the company which is, we hope, and they hope to be doing some processing in the old government shed. Mr. Noseworthy and two other officials from the company was in here on Wednesday. They went over the shed and they, I think, formalized some way that they're going to go about tackling the renovations which will be required. However, it came as a bit of a surprise to us that that the lease, and I've been talking about leases for so long, you know, it's getting under my skin. But anyway, that the proper lease is still not being put in place. Work services and transportation is still being a little bit of a hang-up. So I must say I'm somewhat disappointed in this, and more disappointed in the fact that council was not aware that it was being held up. So with that, of course, the wheels went in motion, and the problem has been addressed with our lawyer and with Minister Parsons. And I must say, I do really feel confident that within the next 2 weeks or so, that we can get all of this red tape cleared up and get something going out there at the shed. Chief Chris seems quite confident and that they're going to move ahead. But of course, and I can understand that these people need a firm commitment and a signed agreement in place before they put in their money. So that's where we stand. Maybe it's a little bit delay, but I guess that's the way it is. Phase 2 of our water treatment plant, you know, the tenders will be closing on September the 19th. So hopefully that shortly after that there will be a successful tender, and phase 2 of the water treatment plant can go into progress. While we were at that, of course, we also discussed the leak in Messers. The leak in Messers has finally been taken care of. It was a long, drawn-out thing, but I guess perseverance, and eventually we did succeed in getting that leak taken care of. Sometime we've been talking now about the coating on the tennis court, volleyball courts, and so on. Well, the town manager, Av, finally acquired the material to do this. However, being it's in our this year budget, we will be acquiring the materials, but we will not be putting it on until next spring. It seemed like it would only be a waste to do 2 outdoor courts in the month of October, and then we would have the winter to go through, and then next spring we probably would need a resurfacing or a touching up or so on. So it's been our decision that we will not be doing anything further there other than to acquire the materials, and in spring of 2003 it will be put on the courts. Boil order, as you know, right now the town is under a boil order, which really shows us the need for our new system, and the quicker the better. I'm sure many of you are fed up with the condition of the water you've been getting, and especially when this flushing is on the go. So therefore, you know, there's no one more anxious to have this cleared up than the Burgeo Town Council. So that's the situation right now. We are on the boil order. The lines are being flushed, and hopefully, I think it's, yeah, the flushing was to end on Friday. We would be giving heavy doses of chlorinine on over the weekend, and hopefully the health inspector will get in on Tuesday to take some more samples. Subject we talked about some time ago, our last meeting, in fact, I presented you with the resolutions which came out from Burgeo Town Council. And as a result, or part of it anyway, I say we played a part in the Newfoundland Labrador Federation of Municipalities taking the action which they have taken. Now, I covered this in a previous broadcast, especially about the petition that's at the Town Council office, and the reason for that was naturally enough, we need it back by Tuesday, and this broadcast would not be aired until Sunday. So therefore, we did a special broadcast on that, so therefore there's no need of me going into this any further at this time, other than to just give you one more reminder that if you haven't been at the town hall and you're 18 years old or over and would like to sign the petition regarding the demanding the federal government to declare custodial management over the nose, tail of the Grand Banks and the Flemish Cat, then I would certainly ask you to go to the town office before Tuesday and get your name on that petition. Council received a letter from Oliver Langdon, Minister of Municipal Affairs. Some time ago I mentioned to you that it is quite possible that this year the snow clearing through town or the upkeep of the main road going through town right out to the government shed will be assumed by Work Services and Transportation, of course, which would cut back on some of the cost of the town snow clearing. But we were a bit concerned that maybe our grant would be cut, that would be our municipal operating grant may be cut by Municipal Affairs. So therefore we contacted them and we received a letter from Mr. Langdon informing us that even if Work Services and Transportation does assume the responsibility for the upkeep of that street, they will not cut our grant. So that was good news for us. We then, Council dealt with just some routine business matters, as I refer to them as, and we adjourned shortly after 9. So that was it from Council for this week. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
In West Africa, when rain is scarce, crops fail, forcing rural people to move to cities in search of a means to provide for their families. With the help of USC Canada, villagers in northern Mali are fighting the pressure to leave with projects focused on market gardens, small credit schemes, and improved soil conservation methods. Help the people of Mali fight back against desertification and drought. Support USC Canada today.
Off the rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a video of cabins along the Burgeo Road. Let's look back to August the 26th, 1996.
It's the 24th of May and we likes to get away, up in the woods or going out the bay. There's all kinds of places, but the place we likes to get is up on the highway in the gravel pits. We loves to go out in the good old gravel pits. We loves to go out there when life gets smelly. We can spray paint our names on the face of the cliff. Go up to the Irving for a Coke and chips. Hitches up the camper and out of town we go, out on the highway with everything in tow. The dog is in the back seat and grandfather's drunk. The youngster's in the trailer and the wife is in the trunk. It's the 24th of May and we likes to get away, up in the woods or going out the bay. There's all kinds of places, but the place we likes to get is up on the highway in the gravel pits. John is coming over and Sue and Henry too. We polish off a bottle and a pot of loose stew. We tell a few stories and an awful lot of lies. Green boughs on the fire to keep away the flies. The youngsters gets excited, then they starts to bounce and jump. And when we piles in the car and goes up to the dump, it's cheaper than a movie, so we all sits and stares. Up by the garbage pile looking at the bears. It's the 24th of May and we likes to get away, up in the woods or going out the bay. There's all kinds of places, but the place we likes to get is up on the highway in the gravel pits. Flies a loopy flag on an old spruce pole. It drowns a few worms in a tractor mud hole. It listens to the radio, we plays it good and loud. The scoff on the Coleman stove is bound to draw a crowd. And when the weekend's over and we're headed back to town, a half-inch of sloppy snow lying on the ground, $100 for a butt who wants to be rich. We just had a lovely time out in the pits. It's the 24th of May and we likes to get away up in the woods or going out the bay. There's all kinds of places, but the place we likes to get is up on the highway in the gravel pits. Is up on the highway in the gravel pits.
BBS Playbill. On Wednesday, we'll have a video entitled With Camera and Gun in Newfoundland. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week's program will be followed by more entertainment from the Sand and Sea Festival with the Sharecroppers. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.